Oh, here we go, another mention about the injuries in CrossFit. What's good guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today is a slightly different video. It's going to be a response video, and yeah, over the last 12 months you've noticed that I've transitioned from my bodybuilding over to CrossFit, and it's something that I've really embraced, and I get asked loads about it. Why transition to CrossFit? And you watching this right now, you might be curious yourself. One thing that really annoys me is when people try and out CrossFit as being something that people shouldn't try, shouldn't get involved in, without actually stating any facts. And this clip from the Mind Pump podcast that I saw the other day is exactly that. It's a perfect example of someone just slagging off CrossFit with no real facts.
They got barbells to be cool, especially with women. CrossFit did that almost single-handedly. But the programming that they employ, unless you're going to compete in the sport of CrossFit, isn't very great. You know, case in point, right? Olympic lifts in a fatigue-based circuit. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Very complex exercise where they're safe, but there's a razor-thin line between safe and dangerous. Your form goes off a little bit. It's very dangerous. And one of the last things you ever do with exercise like that is do them to fatigue or for time in a circuit-based type of a workout.
Okay, yes, so this is a typical point where people say the movements are so complex, they're so hard. You're right, a snatch or a bar muscle up or a clean jerk can be quite complex, and I still have terrible form. But guess what? Every box has a coach monitoring you, making sure that you're doing it correctly, corrects your form. Again, any sport can be complex. People going into CrossFit or just trying out CrossFit, they're not going to fly in and just start doing bar muscle ups. Everyone's going in at a beginner level. They will learn the movements and slowly build up to the complex movements. Again, one thing that this guy probably fails to realize is that most recreational CrossFitters will scale their movements anyway. It's very unlikely that people just go into a CrossFit box and start RXing everything. Everything is scaled to suit the person's ability, so there's no risk of people doing these complex or extremely difficult movements.
Thinking back to all the clients I've trained, and unless they wanted to compete in CrossFit, would I recommend any of them go work out with that CrossFit modality? No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so this guy doesn't teach CrossFit. He's not going to go and recommend his clients to go and do CrossFit, because then he would have no clients. I guarantee you, if I took this guy's clients and said, right, get off the treadmill, stop doing your boring bro split chest workout, and try something that's actually quite fun. It's going to be a competitive, it's going to be team-based, you're going to be working with other people, you're going to be doing multiple exercises, getting a sweat on, releasing endorphins, and probably burning more calories that are going to end up with them losing more weight.
It's really about like trying to make things as competitive as possible. So you have regular pull-ups turned into kipping pull-ups, where you're just like getting through this type of momentum where I could just swing my way through this, and you have to evaluate what the long-term damage that's going to do to your joints.
Yeah, fine. In the CrossFit Games, it's about making it as competitive as possible, as hard as possible. For recreational CrossFitters, in a normal CrossFit box, it's about making it really fun, really enjoyable, but at the same time, you're progressing and burning a shed load of calories.
Like it's the environment of suffrage, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of appeal there. That's what's being promoted in marketing, but they're just not exposed to real training concepts and core values where you get better, you progress, you go through these things. Like there's a limitation to that, and there's also an injury on the other side of what a lot of the programming presents.
Oh, here we go, another mention about the injuries in CrossFit. Okay, so based on actual studies, powerlifters, weightlifters, and CrossFitters all have the same amount of injuries. They average at 2 injuries per 1,000 hours, and this is based on like a number of studies. I've looked into it loads. It varies between sort of 1.3 and 3, with an average of about 2 injuries per 1,000 hours. So that means that if I was to do CrossFit 1 hour a day for the next 1,000 days, that's about 3 years, I would have 2 injuries. Okay, I used to have about 2 injuries a week from playing rugby. Again, if you compare this to the weightlifting, which is heavier reps but less of them, versus CrossFit, which is lower lifts but with higher volume, you have the same injury rate, which demonstrates that doing these really complex, scary movements for for multiple reps doesn't actually increase your chance of injury.
A super intense competitive environment of training is one of the worst things that that person can be in, because that person it's already tough for that person to get fit and to get in shape. That is not sustainable for most people. And Justin's right, it appeals to that athletic mindset, my ex-athletes. But if you are trying to make change to your body and you want, whether that be losing body fat or building muscle, you want to make aesthetic change, it's not an ideal modality.
This guy's saying that basically the people he trains, their goal is to lose weight. And being in a competitive environment is bad. How does that work? When you're in a competitive environment doing a 30-minute EMOM in a pairs workout against other people, trust me, you're finishing that workout. You're burning a shed load of calories. If you're just on your own and you're just on a treadmill and you're making yourself accountable to turn up and go and do a boring as fuck workout, it's very easy to bail. It's very easy to not burn those calories. Which one is more likely to happen again? Turn up, smash your workout, really good set of people, great community, you really enjoy it, varied amount of movements, varied abilities, options to scale. You're working in a pairs workout or a team workout. You've got some form of competitiveness against other people, but you've also got some teamwork amongst others. You have to socialise afterwards and get to meet a few people in the box, and then you go home. Are you likely to go back? Probably. Going to the gym on your own, listening to a podcast, slugging away in a really boring, less cardio workout on a treadmill, leaving the gym, walking home, meet no one, speak to no one. If anything, just get stared at in the gym. Which one are you going to do again?
The reality is it's really tough to train that way for a long period of time. I see some even of our friends that are big CrossFit names like the Jason Kalipas and stuff, and I watch like their Instagram, my buddy Neil Maddox, and man, I go, God, I would hate, here I'm approaching 40 right now, that my workouts always would look like that. I have no desire to train that way. It's just, it's a lot. And it's a lot for a guy who likes fitness. I love fitness. I love to challenge myself. I love training. And I know how much that's just a lot to try and get up and train that way all the time. And so if it's that way for me, I know it's that way for many of my clients that were trying to lose 100 pounds or just want to feel good.
Every single movement in CrossFit can be scaled to an easier option to make it as easy as you want. There are genuinely people in my box, age 55 to 60, who turn up 4 or 5 times a week and are absolutely fine. So this guy, I think, is just a bit of a pussy. If you've been training every single day and you're like, oh, I can't do another CrossFit workout, just scale the movements and just take it a bit steady, but still complete it, and just give your body a little bit of a rest and train maybe 50%. How hard is that?
And so this whole craze around CrossFit, I mean, we predicted it 4 or 5 years ago to watch it start to die, and we've been watching it die off for the last 2 years. You don't hear nowhere near what you used to hear about it.
They said current thoughts. I mean, I honestly, I don't even know what that community looks like anymore. I know there was a big shift towards like elderly community and like kind of changing and restructuring a lot of the programming to be more health conscious. And
I realized this guy didn't actually know what he was talking about when he said that CrossFit's dying off. CrossFit is now the largest fitness chain on the planet, as well as the 7th largest commercial chain in the world. And it's got a revenue annually of $4 billion. End of the video here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. Any other video suggestions, leave them down below. If you want some more response videos, I can certainly do more of these. But again, thanks for watching. I'm going to put another video right here for you to go and watch. Just click this right now, and I'll see you in the next one.